Shalom, Israel. Brother Reggie Jr. here. So today, guys, I'm going to be doing Genesis chapter 23. It's only got about 20 verses, so it's not really that long. So I'm going to try to get through this as quick as I can. I'm not going to try to stretch it along. I'm just going to read it, precept a little bit, and then we're going to be done. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. Genesis chapter 23, and I'm going to read verses 1 and 2. And it says, "And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah." So Sarah was 127 years old. Verse 2. "And Sarah died in Kirjath Arba. The same is Hebron in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her." And it's crazy. Sarah died at 127, and it's just mind-boggling to think that at one point man was living to 900 years old, and to think that we've been cut down in lifespan so much just really blows my mind. It's mind-blowing. Okay, now I'm gonna read verse 3 through 6, and it says, "And Abraham stood up from before his dead," meaning before Sarah, "and spake unto the sons of Heth." Now when you look at genealogy, you know that Heth was the father of the Hittites. So when it says that Abraham spake unto the sons of Heth, you know that he is speaking to the Hittites. Verse 4. "Abraham says, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight." And brothers and sisters, see how Abraham admitted. He says, even though Abraham had all of that wealth, even though he had literally his own army, which was his servants, 318 of them, look what he said. "I'm still what? A stranger and a sojourner." And it was just as the Lord said. Let's go to Genesis 17 and 8 real quick. It says, this is what the Lord tells Abraham. He says, "And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger." So the Lord, listen, Abraham, you are a stranger. "All the land of what? Canaan, for an everlasting possession. And guess what? And I will be their God." So Abraham understood that, listen, I'm not trying to build a kingdom here on this earth, because my kingdom is coming. And likewise, brothers and sisters, we should be the same. These nations that we're among, this is not our resting place. And I think sometimes we get frustrated in this captivity because, we want to build and we want to do so many things, but we must keep in mind that this is not our resting place. We are just as Abraham. We are a stranger and a sojourner. Brothers and sisters, just relax, man. We just passing through. I know it's hard. I know it's tough to see what's happening to your people, just the state of your people and everything. But you have to remember, brothers and sisters, we are just passing through. And like Abraham, we are waiting for God to deliver on the promise in which he promised us. And that's what? The land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, with him over us as our God, as our King. So we need to make sure that we always keep that in mind. We are not here to build our kingdom. Our kingdom is coming. So there are a lot of religious people among our people. And of course, the wicked Israelites, they're trying to build their kingdom down here. Your kingdom is coming. But you just have to be patient. And you have to meet the qualifications to be able to receive that kingdom when it does come. Now, verse 5. It says, "And the children of Heth," so these Hittites, "they answered Abraham, saying unto him, Hear us, my Lord." And the fact that they said, "my Lord," they're addressing, I have to point this stuff out because people overlook verse 6 a lot. These Hittites said to Abraham, "Hear us, my" what? "My Lord." They're literally addressing Abraham as a king, King. And let me show you the proof. Just keep reading. It says, "Thou art a mighty," what? "A mighty prince among us." They literally telling Abraham, you are a king among us. That's what they're literally telling him. Abraham was a whole king among the Hittites. Now, he didn't proclaim himself to be a king, but that's how the Hittites seen him, because Abraham was so mighty. Okay, and I'm going to explain that verse, but I want to finish this up. But they said, in the choice of our sepulchres, bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, that thou mayest bury thy dead. And let me show you some scriptures to show you why the Hittites seen Abraham as a king. Well, let's go ahead real quick and go to Genesis chapter 13 and verse 2. And it says, and Abraham was very, don't overlook that now, he was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold. So Abraham was mighty in wealth. Abraham had it all. And notice, he didn't let that steer him away from God. Them riches is stuff that meant absolutely nothing to Abraham. But nevertheless, Abraham was mighty in wealth. So that's one reason why the Hittites was like, my goodness. In other words, Abraham living like a king. Abraham in the land of his enemies living like a king. Let's go to Genesis 14. Let's see another reason why those Hittites saw Abraham as a king. Genesis 14, and I'm going to read 14. And when Abraham heard that his brother, meaning Lot, was taken captive, he armed his trained servants born in his own house. Guys, you know how many people that is? 318. Born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. Because remember, his own servants that was born in his house, 318 of them. And that number alone should give you an idea of how rich Abraham was. Because you do know he had to feed them servants and take care of them, right? 318, and he went with them 318 servants born in his own house, and he destroyed them 4 kings and that massive army that they had. So what I'm saying for that one is Abraham literally had his own army. And now, yeah, they was his own servants born in his own house, but they also doubled as his army. So Abraham was rich like a king, and he literally had his own army. Abraham was a walking king. Now, why the Hittites was like, this man is mighty. Abraham was a mighty man. And no different, brothers and sisters. Here in our captivity, if you really serving God and the Most High blessing you and stuff, trust me, your enemies see you the same way. This person is literally untouchable. A whole king, a whole queen for the women, a whole queen. This our land, we not even prospering like them. I tell you, boy, the things the Lord can do for you, man, if you just follow him. It's amazing. Now, let's go ahead, guys, and keep reading. I'm going to read verse 7 through 11. And Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land, even unto the children of Heth. And he communed, I'm going to go back to that verse 7, but I just want to read this through to 11. And he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me and entreat me to Ephron, the son of Zohar, so Abraham, he liked the burying place of Ephron, the son of Zohar. So that's what Abraham desired to have. Verse 9, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he said, which is in the end of his field. For as much money as it is worth, he shall give it for a possession of a burying place amongst you. 10. And Ephron dwelt among the children of Heth. And Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham in the audience of the children of Heth, even all that went in at the city of his gate, saying, Nay, my Lord, hear me. The field give I thee, and the cave that is therein I give it thee. In the presence of the sons of my people give I it thee, bury thy dead. So he wanted to bless Abraham. He was like, nah, don't worry about buying it or nothing. I just want to get out here. You can have the land and the cave. Here you go. Now we're going to get to that. But like I said, I got to deal with this verse 7. So it said, Abraham stood up and bowed himself to the people of the land. And now, see, a lot of people will say, oh man, why did Abraham bow to him and stuff like that? You know, well, let's go real quick to Romans 13. Romans 13. Let me show you why Abraham bowed. Romans 13:7, and it says, render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, and what Abraham showed, honor to whom honor. So this was Abraham's way of honoring the children of Heth, because guess what? This was still their land. Now, yeah, it was going to be Abraham's land in the future via a promise, but nevertheless, Abraham still showed them their due benevolence, their due respect. And we ought to do the same thing, brothers and sisters. Don't ever think because you serve God and because you're super blessed, you have all of this money, everything is going right. Hey, listen, when it comes to the heathen of this land, especially the land that we're in America, you still need to show reverence and you still need to show respect, because you don't want to get beside yourself. You still need to honor people and you still need to show respect. Now, I got to go and address this verse 11. So basically, Ephron wanted to give Abraham his field, which possessed that cave, which Abraham wanted. So he was willing to give Abraham both. But I wanted you guys to look at something. He just wanted to give it to Abraham free. But watch this, verses 12 through 16. And we need to follow this same example, especially here in captivity. It says, and Abraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. And he spake unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, but if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me. Abraham says, I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, my Lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver. And boy, that's a lot of money. And it says current money with the merchant, verse 17. Okay, no, that was it right there. So I like what Abraham did. Abraham used wisdom. See, by word of mouth, the sons of Heth, the Hittites, exclusively, I'm talking about Ephron. See, he was going to just give Abraham the cave, the field which possessed the cave for free, and naturally the cave with it too. But Abraham said, no, I want to pay for it. See, always don't ever let nobody give you something for free. See, Abraham was using wisdom. Don't let no one give you anything for free. I don't care if it's as a gift or out of goodwill, because people will use that to not only dangle that in front of your head and tell you that, yeah, he only got it because of me, but people can accuse you of stuff. Now, the same way that the Ephron and the other Hittites felt about Abraham that day, they may have not felt that about him later down the road and decided later, hey, I'm going to take this field from him. After all, he didn't buy it anyway. Or let's just say they did like Abraham, but they didn't like Isaac, who was to come, who would be the heir of that field in which Abraham, purchased or whatever. What if they didn't like Isaac? They could have just simply what? Took the field. Why? Because after all, your daddy Abraham didn't buy that field. So guess what? At the end of the day, it's going to be their word versus your own. So it was good that Abraham purchased it. And I know that Abraham received a receipt for that, because it tells you that too in verse 20, which we're going to read. But of course, when they made purchases back in the day, they received some kind of receipt letting you know that, hey, I did in fact purchase this field and it is mine. Because I'm telling you, man, especially here in Babylon, people will set you up. Yeah, I just want to give you this. It's on me. It's just because I really like you. I admire what you do, and I just want to give it to you. If I decide to take it, it's because I'm going to buy it from you. That way you can't never switch nothing up on me and accuse me of stealing it, accusing me of taking it, by force. And you can't ever say, well, I gave it to him. That's the only reason he got it, dangling whatever it is they gave you over your head. Always purchase stuff. Don't ever let nobody give you nothing free. Always purchase it from them. Yeah, I just want to, give you this car right here. If I do take the car, you're going to let me buy it, and I'm going to need a receipt saying that I did buy it. I need it in writing, because I'm sure that Ephron the Hittite, I'm sure there was some kind of receipt. There was something to say that that field was his. So by Abraham not purchasing it, at the end of the day, that field would still belong to Ephron. And if Ephron had children, guess what? The children may not feel the same way as Ephron and the rest of the Hittites feel. It may raise up some children that don't know Abraham. And guess what? I don't care about no Abraham, man. I'm finna take my father's field back. See that? Abraham avoided all of that headache by just simply purchasing the field and getting some form of receipt for it. Now, guys, let's go ahead, man, and finish this thing off. Oh, wait a minute. I almost forgot. Abraham actually followed suit with what Abraham did by, purchasing the field. Well, David actually did something similar, because David also had wisdom too. Don't ever take nothing for free. Pay for whatever it is somebody trying to give you, because I'm telling you, you got a lot of evil people out here switch it up on you. They will switch it up on you real quick. So 2 Samuel 24, and I'm going to read verse 20. Now this is when David is going to buy the threshing floor from Araunah. Okay, and this takes place like right after the Lord sent that plague in the form of, an angel, and it was killing them Israelites left and right. And the Lord needed to sacrifice to the Most High so that way he can stop the plague. So 2 Samuel 24 and verse 20, and it says, let me see. Let me start at 18. I'm going to read 18 through 20, and it says, and Gad came that day to David and said unto him, go up and rear an altar unto the Lord in the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And David, according to the saying of Gad, went up as the Lord commanded. And Araunah looked and saw the king and his servants coming on toward him. And Araunah went out and bowed himself before the king on his face upon the ground. Okay. Did I just say verse through to verse 20? Nah, I need to keep reading. We just going to read this thing through. Verse 21, and Araunah said, wherefore is my lord the king come to his servant? And David said, to buy the threshing floor of thee, so that what? To build an altar unto the Lord, that what? The plague that was in the form of the angel killing Israelites left and right may be stopped from the people. 22. And Araunah said unto David, let my lord the king take and offer up what seemeth good unto him. Behold, here be oxen for burnt sacrifice, and threshing instruments, and other instruments of the oxen for wood. 23. All these things did Araunah as a king give unto thee. Give unto the king. And Araunah said unto the king, the Lord thy God accept thee. In other words, Araunah was like, hey, feel free to, take it and do what you need to do here. It's all yours. But watch what David said, just like Abraham, 24. And the king, meaning David, said unto Araunah, nay, but I will surely buy it of thee at a price. Because guess what? David like, listen, later down the road, you ain't going to accuse me of taking nothing. Because they will accuse you, King David came to my threshing floor, man. He came, his servants, they bullied me and bodied me, and they took my threshing floor for me. David said, I will surely buy it of thee at a price. Neither will I offer burnt offerings unto the Lord my God of that which doeth cost me nothing. So David was like, no, sir. Everything that I need, I'm going to buy it. I ain't taking no handouts, nothing free. Everything I need, I'm going to buy it right from you. And I'm going to get a receipt showing that I bought it. So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. And David built there an altar unto the Lord and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. So the Lord was entreated for the land, and the plague was stayed from Israel. So we need to follow suit, brothers and sisters. Don't let nobody butter you up and, I just want to give you this car for free, and I got this little TV I want to give you. Listen, if I decide to take it, I'm going to pay for it. It ain't that you can't take it, brothers and sisters. It's not that you can't. But you need to buy it, and there needs to be some kind of receipt showing that you buy it. Because I'm telling you, there are people, and it happened all the time in Babylon, they took something free, and the person who gave whoever something free ended up switching it on them, accusing them of stuff, or when the person least expected, the person that gave the person the thing for free, they end up taking it back. I want my such and such back. You didn't pay for it anyway, so you don't want to deal with none of that headache. Just buy it outright if you really want it. But let's go ahead, brothers and sisters. Let's go ahead and finish this. Verse 17 through 20 back in Genesis 23. And the field of Ephron, which is in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field and the cave which was therein. And remind you, Isaac is going to inherit everything that Abraham has, which would be the field as well as that cave, because Abraham on his way out of here too. It says, in the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were in all the borders round about, were made sure. They were made sure unto Abraham for a possession in the presence of the children of Heth, but for all that went in at the gate of his city. So that was his form of a receipt. 19. And after this, Abraham buried Sarah his wife in the cave of the field of Machpelah before Mamre. The same is in Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Abraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Heth. So it was a form of a receipt that made, and it ensured not only Abraham, but it also ensured the Ephron and the Hittite sons that, hey, this in fact is Abraham's field. So don't try to come later and take it from him or his descendants. This is his. All right. So just like Abraham, guys, we got to use wisdom. And that's where our enemies actually get receipts. That's where our enemies, that we live among here, that's where our enemies get it from. The heathen, that's where they get receipts from, or evidence papers, or having things in writing. They get all of that from our book. Don't ever go by word of mouth from any man. You need receipts. You need evidence. You need something in writing. Okay? Because the Lord teaches us to be logical, not emotion, but he teaches us to be logical. And that's the way we should operate as a people, logically. But that's pretty much it for that, guys. I hope you guys got some understanding, and I will see you in Genesis chapter 24.